Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Dropping Into Happiness. I was kind of giggling. I'm like, what do I say? I know it's like I missed one episode and I'm just like super lost now. Hi friends, I'm back. I apologize. I might have to keep turning my mic off though, because I do still have this weird little cough. I feel good. No fevers. I even cleaned my house yesterday with a mask on though, even though because I'm still testing positive. What the heck, balls? I don't understand that. But we're here. Hello.
Yay, we're reunited. And you know what's funny, y'all? By the way, I'm Maggie.
I was going to say, we're your hosts. Yeah, I'm Rachel.
Our flow has been disrupted by the universe. But it's so funny, y'all, because by the end of this year, we will have had an episode every single week.
Yeah.
For 2022.
Yeah.
Both of Rachel and I, we've only missed 1 week each, and it was both because of the coronavirus.
Yes. Yeah,
so disrespectful
that was it.
To us.
I know. Yeah. I really thought I was like never going to get it. I really did. And it's kind of funny though, because my husband and my son got it much earlier in the year, but like my son got it first and then my husband got it. And this time around, my daughter got it first. And then like 3 days later, I got it. So I'm like, our kids gave it to us, dude. Like they did it. They did this.
They are to blame. They are to blame.
Yeah. Well,
which both times we got it in my household, it was me giving it to Seth. So
it was
like, you're to blame. Because I'm the one that has to go and teach and be in person all the time where he's like at home. So he's like, can you stop getting us sick, please?
I know. My mother-in-law works from home and she got it. And I was like, how did that happen? She doesn't go anywhere. I don't know. It's a sneaky little devil. It really is. But yeah, and like honestly, so like you said, we have like either one of us has only missed 1 week, but the show itself has not missed a week the entire year. And just another reminder, Maggie and I are taking the last 2 weeks of this year off. However, we will end the year. So that means we'll end the year with 50 episodes because there's 52 weeks in a year. So we're going to have 50 episodes and this is episode 48. So we're getting up to that end of the year. So we kind of want to recap. We want to talk some goals, but today we want to talk about kind of a fun one. Our topic today is 0-point foods. And I know we've actually had some people request this, like what kind of 0-point foods do we use? How do we lean on them? What do we utilize them for? Because I've said in the past that I like to build my meals from my 0-point foods. I like to snack on 0-point foods, but we can say that all day long. And then somebody's going to be like, okay, but like, what is it?
Well, it's interesting how when you're on Weight Watchers for so long, or you learn things throughout, you forget like what it's like to be a day one member or like,
right.
I had someone ask me, I made a little bingo card, about, Weight Watchers bingo. And one of the options was, eat a 0-point source of protein. And someone asked me, can you give me examples of 0-point protein? And I'm thinking, oh, you don't know?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, there was a time where I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that protein came from chicken and turkey and eggs and beans
tofu.
And chickpea, like, tofu. Did I say eggs already? Probably. Fish. I mean, now we all have fish as a 0-point food. That's an amazing source of protein.
There's even some pastas that have additional protein. What is the brand? Barilla, I want to say, has like a protein infused kind of pasta. Oh yeah, all sorts of places.
Lots of options. But even just like ways to get in protein without spending any points. Non-fat Greek yogurt, there's so many options. But it's interesting that there are some people out there that don't know that yet until someone tells them, or they do the research. So interesting. I'm glad we're going to have this conversation today because 0-point foods should be the backbone of our healthy pattern of eating. Yeah. And I know that there are some listeners out there who want to argue with me and say, oh, but I might overeat my 0-point foods or, I might do that. No. We're not here because we ate too much grilled chicken.
Yeah.
That we ate too many grapes.
Or tomatoes.
We are not here. Tomatoes. I'm trying to think of like all the random things like people, I don't want to say demonize because that sounds like a very aggressive word, especially for this time of year.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
People get really intense about certain things. I'm like, oh, no. Like it's not it. So, really, y'all, you would have to consume these 0-point foods to the point of feeling physically ill. Before they are becoming a problem. And we shouldn't be doing that with any food.
Yeah.
right? Like that's not a healthy approach to anything. So yes, of course we want balance and mindfulness of our hunger cues, but these should be the things that we're like going to first,
Yeah.
without thinking about them. And there are things that we don't
Definitely.
have to track. There are people out there who
See, and
want
that's
to
a big
track
debate
them.
too, though. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
big debate. Do you track them? Do you not track them? And literally, you guys, that's your preference. It's 100% up to you. If you are that person who you're like, I think I might overdo it, then track it. Look at your portion size. Understand. I'm the type of person that I guess I don't super weigh out my 0 point foods. Like I kind of know what a cup of grapes look like. You know, I know that an apple is going to be 0. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't feel the need to like meticulously weigh and measure like I do some of my other foods. But yeah, that's another perk I like with my 0 point foods too, is that I don't have to do those kinds of things.
Right, because then it becomes so much of a chore, and at that point you might as well be calorie counting, in my opinion. Like the thing that I love about WW is that I don't have to meticulously weigh and measure every single morsel of food that goes into my mouth. I can just like trust that, oh, I'm making healthy choices and I'm listening to my hunger cues, and then I have these points for other things like to create balance, you know? So for me, like that there's a lot more flexibility in not having to track 0 point foods, but if tracking 0 point foods gives you peace, fine. But what I will not stand for is, and I'm getting aggressive today, if y'all can't tell, is that friends who they're like, oh, well, at some point, if you eat X amount of 0 point foods, then they should be points. So I heard someone say that they were giving arbitrary point values. Like if I had more than one pair, I should track like 2 points for that. I'm like, what? No, that is not what the program is telling us to do. And you're using valuable points that you could be spending on other things, on fruit, and now you're in jeopardy of under eating. No, do not do that. Like do a quick ad of like, ooh, homegirl, you really overate on some popcorn today, but don't like take any points away from that. That's not what the program is telling you to do. So I'm like, if you're going to work the program the way it's intended. Don't make up your own rules, because it usually doesn't work.
Oh, I know it. You and I have talked about that in the past too. Like, I trust the program. If they tell me this is how we're going to do it, that's how I'm going to do it. Because I didn't do all the science and research. I didn't go to college extra years for nutrition. Like, I didn't do all that. But we have a huge team of these people that have, and I trust them. I trust their opinion. I trust what they've discovered, and I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to work the plan exactly how they tell us to work the plan. And I know some people can get so paranoid and so nervous when they're just like, oh, but I had a whole cup of this and I didn't track it. But I'm like, a whole cup of what? I'm like, well, watermelon. Do you realize how much water is in watermelon? Like, that was like practically having nothing. Like, it's just, lean into it, friends. So let's talk some 0 point foods. Like, I feel like I've said this over and over, so a lot of you might know, like probably grapes are my favorite 0 point food. I have them every single day. I will start my day with grapes every single day. And if I don't have grapes and like, oh, I'll have a banana, I'm like, that's not my grapes. I just really dig grapes, man. They're so easy in the evening if I want another snack, because as Maggie has said in the past, you know, fruit needs friends. So when I have a snack later in the day and I really want to like up it a little bit, I'll have like a Baby Bell with another cup of grapes. It's just so easy for me. I know it's going to be my 0 point. And then even if I add in my Baby Bell, that's only a couple of points, but that's going to give me some protein. And that's probably my number one favorite go-to 0 point food is grapes. Like, do you have one like that, Mags? That's just like, boom, that's what I grab.
Before I divert from the grape conversation, have you done the Jello powder on the grapes and put them in the freezer? That was like a hack. Someone said they tasted like sour candy. Now
it does.
I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be one of those people that's like, wow, this tastes like candy. You know, like, I mean, but wow, this does taste really good. Like, and you can get so fun with all the different like flavor combinations.
Oh,
so all you have to do is like rinse your grapes and then take your sugar-free Jello mix.
Powder.
So you could be like strawberry or whatever. And then you just sprinkle it over the top, put them in the freezer, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, I put them in a baggie and I shake it up and I stick that back, because grapes will never 100% solidify, just FYI. So they're not going to be like little ice cubes. They're always going to be like little slushies. And it's very yummy. Especially, it's a great summertime snack. Just an FYI, If you do like fruit punch or cherry flavor or literally actually any color, it's going to turn your fingers that color.
Yeah. It's a little messy, but could be worth it.
Super
in
yummy.
terms of my, I probably have a favorite 0-point food in every category. Like my favorite fruit is banana. Like it's funny when you were like, oh, if I have a banana,
love me a banana. I do, but
yeah, like I eat a banana every single day. Yeah. Every day, without fail. It's packed with fiber. It helps keep you full. And like Rachel said, if you are hearing that for the first time, that fruit needs a friend. For me, like fruit just doesn't keep me as full by itself. But if I pair it with like another protein source or something like that, then I feel like I get a further bang for my buck. But I would say that's my favorite in terms of my fruit. But then, like, I would say if I had to pick like a 0-point food that I would die without, it would probably be chicken breast.
I could eat chicken every single day.
Every day?
It drives my husband crazy. I'm like, do you realize how many different ways I can make chicken though? And it's wild how many things I can do with chicken. And he's just like, we had chicken yesterday. And me and my son, we get chicken every single day. 100%.
Right. Because it's so versatile. I mean, just like I'm sure tofu is. I'm not a tofu eater, but I feel like tofu, they say it's so versatile. It takes on the flavor of whatever you're cooking with, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's how I feel about chicken. And you can have it just the good old-fashioned, like, 0-point, salt and pepper, grill, that's it. Yeah. You could also, like, add a little bit of panko, like, and do, like, a little flour and make a whole fried chicken kind of moment, and it's still going to be so less in points. One thing I do wish was 0 points was chicken thighs, because I love some chicken thighs, but they're not 0.
My mom too. That's my mom loves her a chicken thigh. Like she likes the darker meat chicken, but for friends out there, the darker meats are going to have points. So chicken breasts,
and it's because of the fat content.
Yeah, chicken breasts are going to be 0 points, but chicken thighs are not. Still very low though. I mean, it is. It's still very low in points, but yeah. My mom gets so sad about that. She's like, because they really they would prefer to do the dark meat.
They're so flavorful. Yeah. But what you could do is like back down some of the portion of the like chicken thighs and then bulk it up with some of the chicken breasts, that way you're kind of having a bigger portion for less points. That's really how I love to use my 0-point foods, is to bulk up things. Like for example, I think I've mentioned this in a podcast, but like, the freezer meals, like, the Lean Cuisine white cheddar Vermont mac and cheese. It's something like that.
Yep.
It's 8 points. And by
You've
itself,
done a reel on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like by itself, for me, that's like a side. Like I would not have that by itself as a meal, but if I add chicken and I add like a broccoli to it, or like tuna would be good if you like tuna.
Oh yeah.
That makes the point value stays the same, but it's so much more food, so much more protein. So that's one way I love to utilize 0-point foods, is like I never just eat a freezer meal the way it comes. I'm like, what can I add to this that will not affect the point value? And
that's such an easy one. That's such an easy bulk to it.
It's so easy. One thing that I do struggle with using on a consistent basis is non-fat Greek yogurt. That was a 0-point food that I was like,
I can use that, but I don't use it as much as I would do like fat-free cottage cheese. I love me some fat-free cottage cheese. I will.
I mean, every day.
I'm a savory cottage cheese eater. I cannot do it with fruit. Like that's not my jam. But I will get get my little measured out, and then I get the Triscuits. I love the cracked pepper Triscuits, and I'll do a little like garlic salt, my Trader Joe's garlic salt that I adore, that has like parsley and onions and all that in it too. And I'll put that on top of my cottage cheese, and I beef it up with some chicken because actually I found a canned chicken. The only canned chicken that I've ever found that was 0 points, because sometimes it's in oil, sometimes it's just so fat in it. The Sam's Club brand, like the Members Mark, I think is what it is. The Sam's Club brand canned chicken, and I'll take like maybe a quarter or half of that, and I'll mix that in with my cottage cheese, and I use that as like a topper for my Triscuits. I can have that as a meal. It is so filling, and the only points I have is the Triscuits.
Right. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow. That's a fun. I've been exploring more with the fat-free cottage cheese ever since we updated the program. And it's funny, I was like a savory person only with it as
Yeah.
well. Like I would do like the Tyson blackened chicken tenders chopped
Ooh,
up with the cottage cheese and a little bit of
yeah.
like fat-free shredded cheese.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been experimenting with the fruit, and it's so funny because Instagram is just such a magical place. I'll post a picture of like, here I am trying cottage cheese with pineapple, and someone will say, "Oh yeah, yeah, that's good, but have you tried it with peaches?" So then I'm like, "Oh well, now I have to try it with peach." And so the very next day
Yeah.
I'm like, "Here's me trying cottage cheese with peaches," and they're like, "Oh my gosh, but have you tried it with insert other pears?" I'm like, "Oh well, now I need to try it with pear," and I'm just like, that's a fun way. We're using the same base, but you're swapping out like what you're pairing with, so then it stays
Yeah.
exciting. Like you could eat cottage cheese every day, but you could eat it differently every single day until you
Oh,
stay
yeah.
excited about it. I think, like we were mentioning with the chicken, it's like getting curious about how I can try it out in different recipes or different combinations of things so that it changes the flavor and the texture,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's still low in points.
Well, because like I'll probably make it this week now that I think about it, because I can do it with either or. Me and my son like it with buffalo sauce, which is extremely low in points, or I'll get the G Hughes sugar-free barbecue sauce, and I'll cook the chicken breast in my Instapot, and then I just shred it up, and then I just add the sauce to it, and then so with the fat-free Greek yogurt, the only thing I feel like I really use that for is to make my ranch dip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 1 cup of the fat-free Greek yogurt to 1 packet of the ranch powder, 0 points, and it's a really creamy ranch substitute. But I'll put that on my sandwiches, on like my my buffalo chicken sandwiches. I love
Oh,
those.
that's smart, Rachel. I
Mm-hmm.
never thought of that. I literally have a reel on standby of making the ranch dip because that's like a standard WW
Oh
hack. But like
yeah,
again, there's someone out there who's like never heard of that combination and they're
yeah,
like, "Pfft." So I have that on ice, as they say. I have it
yeah.
waiting to be posted, so I'll have to post that this week. But I also want to try with the non-fat Greek yogurt. Apparently, the Swiss Miss reduced calorie hot chocolate powder.
What?
Apparently, you can mix it into the yogurt, and then it just
Really?
adds like a point, and
What
it's
would
like a
you eat that
chocolate,
with? Like strawberries or like?
maybe, or just by the spoonful. Oh! Speaking of
Oh,
spoonfuls and
interesting.
speaking of 0 point foods,
Yeah.
y'all, I tried last week a chickpea cookie dough recipe.
What?
Yes, and it did not
Interesting.
taste like health at all. It tasted like I was eating cookie dough out of a tub,
Oh
and I
my
did it like you
god.
could, and it was 2 points for a fourth of a cup serving, but like when you compare it to eating real cookie dough out of the tub,
Yeah.
you're saving a lot of
Yeah.
points here. It did not taste like chickpeas to me, and it was so good. And you could do it with like apples, or you could do it with graham crackers. You could just eat it straight off the
Interesting.
spoon. Oh, I'll have to send you the recipe so or I'll put it on
Yeah.
Dropping into Happiness Instagram. If y'all aren't
Yeah.
following us, there's your sign.
Yeah.
Um, Dropping into Happiness Pod. Oh, by the way, Rachel told me at the beginning that we got an email asking what sun drops were.
Yeah.
So, tangent, if you are listening and you're a loyal subscriber to Dropping into Happiness, you can consider yourself a sun drop.
We voted on
Near
it, I
you.
promise. Like we didn't just
We
make the
did.
name. We had a
You
vote.
had to be there, but there
Yeah.
was a vote.
We voted. And Sundrops was what we decided to call you guys. So definitely.
Yay.
So I know this is like not super off track, I guess, but I'm swinging back around to the peaches.
Yeah.
So okay, this is gonna sound very complicated, but it's not. So I guess she's my step cousin, so it's my stepdad's niece. Her husband owns a barbecue place, I guess you could call it, because he just does pop-ups. He doesn't actually have a restaurant, and I adore his food. Every time he does a pop-up, I like to go see him. Well, you know what he puts peaches in? His baked beans. And it is so good. He even did, oh gosh, when was it? Because me and my husband went a few weeks ago, and he's like, oh, he called it his caramel apple baked beans. And so there was apples in the baked beans with some some cinnamon. Holy cannoli, it was so good. And it's my mom's absolute favorite thing of everything that he makes is his peaches, his peach baked beans. So if you're ever looking to like change a little something up, yeah, because baked beans out of the can are usually very low. You can find those with very low in points. And then if you just want to bulk it up a little bit with some peaches, like some sugar, no sugar added peaches, yeah, bomb, so good.
What?
Such a good ad.
Okay. That is so interesting. But like,
I know, I would have never
it.
ever done that, and like. I was very hesitant to try it for a really long time, but I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And it's so good. It's so yummy. So
another thing with 0 point foods that I just thought I would highlight as we're going back and forth with ideas is that you don't have to stick to whatever you think is the recommended serving size. We often like get serving size and portion size confused. And, you know, like I know friends who will eat 1 egg in the morning. And I'm thinking, why not 2 eggs?
Yeah.
Or even 3. I mean, I know somebody who eats 6 eggs a day. That ain't my life. That's just a lot of eggs. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with a good old egg. And then, you know, or even bulking up an egg or 2 for those of us that are watching cholesterol with the egg whites.
Oh, yeah.
Because, again, even more protein, you're going to stay fuller longer. Like,
I mean, I told you I put shredded spinach into my eggs to bulk it up a little bit.
Yeah. You know what also is a great source of protein, 0 points? Salmon. And you can do a lot of things with salmon, but salmon in the air fryer. Chef's kiss. And it's so fast. You could do salmon in the air fryer, like some microwave rice, some steamed broccoli, boom. Like 3-point meal in less than 15 minutes.
When I was planning out my, cause fingers crossed, I should be going back to work this week. That's if I'm not still testing positive. But thinking about my lunches for this week, somebody had made some sort of fish the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've had fish. I really want to do some fish this week. I think that'd be really good.
With it being on our 0 point foods list, I think with any 0 point foods, when we are doing that menu planning, like Rachel was saying, we need to really take stock of our list and see, okay, how can I incorporate this a few times this week? Like there are 0 point foods that I eat every day: vegetables, fruit, chicken, eggs. That's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
The others, I like them, but if I'm not like specifically planning them into my week, they might not make it on the menu. You know?
Yeah.
Like black beans and corn and stuff like that. It's like, oh, well, if I'm having taco night, then I'm like thinking, okay, definitely need to use some black beans and some corn and stuff like that. You know, like it's things I like, but they're not necessarily things that I'm making every day unless I have a plan. So I encourage anybody listening out there, you know, when you do your menu planning, get your 0 point foods list out and see what you can incorporate frequently throughout the week. And again, like, we can use beans every single week, but we can use them 1,000 different ways.
Right?
Every single week.
Yeah.
And same thing with the Greek yogurt. Like you can make it savory. You can make it sweet. You can use it as a sour cream. You can use it as a dip. Like,
people use it to like bake. Like when you're doing your like you said, like your panko. If you're gonna cover your chicken in anything, you can roll it in the Greek yogurt first as kind of like a topper to make, and it really helps keep it very, very creamy and the chicken very moist and
Using the 2-ingredient dough with the non-fat Greek yogurt and the flour.
Yes. Like that is so versatile. I have made so many things with the 2-ingredient dough. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Desserts, my burger bombs. I've done breadsticks. I've done so many things with that. I should repost those videos because it's been about 1.5 years since I posted a bunch of my 2-ingredient dough videos. I should repost those.
Time to recycle some content.
I know, because I'm like, they were so good. Like, it was just really, really good stuff. And I did a lot of it with my mom, too, because we were so shocked how good it all came out. Pizza dough, I mean, literally, almost essentially anything you could make, like, bread out of. I think I did, probably one of my favorites was the, I call it the poor man's Red Lobster biscuits, like the little cheddar biscuits.
Yes.
Out of the 2-ingredient dough. So good.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I think the major takeaways from this are: 1, don't be afraid of your 0 point foods. Prioritize them, lean into them in abundance. 2, search for different recipes or try to get creative with the different ways that you can use them, because you don't have to be super repetitive with this. Of course, some things you might repeat just because you love it so much.
Yeah.
But don't let yourself get into a rut,
Yeah.
That's when the lifestyle can get boring.
Well, and also, friends, if it's the end of your day and you have used all of your points and you are hungry, eat something.
We didn't even talk about popcorn.
Grab a zero, yeah. Make some popcorn. Grab a 0-point food. Like I said, I will do a handful of grapes, because even if I've used all of my points, I don't feel bad going over by 2. You know what I mean? Because you're still in a healthy eating zone. I know I have my weeklies, but just eat something. Lean on those 0-point foods. Grab a 0-point food out of the fridge or off the counter. Eat something. You even have. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a fruit or vegetable. I had a member who told me one time that he takes chicken breasts and he dices them up into little cubes. He marinates them in buffalo sauce, and then he air fries them until they're a little crispy on the outside. And that's a great little protein snack that he has. That's a 0-point food. Have that if you're hungry. Like, guys, eat if you are hungry. Do not go hungry. That is not the point of this program.
Right.
Not at all.
I think making sure, too, another takeaway is that these foods are on your grocery list, whether they're on the list every single week or you replenish them as you go. Making sure you have something from every single category available to you, so you have that flexibility, and then you can get creative in the kitchen, right? If it's not there, you're not going to choose it.
Yeah.
So making sure you're stocked up on your staples is important as well. Like, I'm out of eggs right now, and it's literally killing me. After this recording section, I have to go to the grocery store and get eggs. Like, non-negotiable.
Yeah. And we have to get the 5 dozen at a time. We have to. I have 4 people in my house.
Go through them a lot. Yeah.
Yes, me, my husband, and my son have eggs almost every single morning. And I have 2. My husband has 2, and my son can have easily 4 eggs in the morning. So that's already half a dozen.
8 eggs a day? Yeah. That's 56 eggs a week.
We have to do the big bulk one. And then today too, I was like, as I'm thinking about prepping for my week, I'm like, oh, I gotta hard boil some, because that's one of my favorite go-to snacks too, especially in the afternoon. I will grab a hard boiled egg in a heartbeat, and it helps keep me. Yeah. All right, friends. Well, it is time to do our star goals and recommendations. So I wasn't here last week, so can I go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So talking about 0-point foods, I've realized that I feel like I rotate in the same 0-point foods. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I do want to try and grab a different 0-point food this week. So I'm going to look at my list before I go to the grocery store. And I mean, like I said, I do a lot of bananas, because I've told you guys in the past too, I have an alarm set for my snacks, my daily snacks. And I have a banana almost every single morning as my snack. But I need to grab something else. I need to increase my plethora of 0-point foods. So I'm going to grab a 0-point food that I don't normally have on hand. I'm going to utilize that this week. And then my star goal, I have 2 star goals written down then. Another star goal for myself then this week, because a few weeks ago I was telling you guys that I was trying to get to the gym one time. And I did that for like multiple weeks, and I was very excited, even though I haven't literally been like outside of my house in a week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. I want to get to the gym twice, because I'm starting to get to the point where my Monday gym session is part of my routine now. So now I want to add in another day. I feel like doing like double Dutch when you're like just trying to jump in like at the right time. And so I'm going to get that second one going in there now. I just need to pick a day that I don't know if I want to go back to my kickboxing class on Wednesday nights or on my way home from work, like I like to do now. But yes, so I guess that'd be my recommendation though, is guys, try a new 0-point food. Look at your list, pull the list up, see if it's something that, even if it's something that you've had in the past and you're like, oh, I know I like that. Well, do you utilize it? Put it in the mix this week. Just have something different. Like Maggie was saying, don't let it get stagnant. Don't let it get boring. Because throw something else in there this week. So that's going to be my recommendation too then. So what about you, Maggie?
Yay. My star goal, and spoiler alert, this is going to be my star goal for the duration of 2022, is to maintain my tracking streak on the Weight Watchers app. They updated it to where now you just see a streak number at the top for if you track something in the day. So I'm at 15 days as we're recording this.
Yay!
So my goal is to keep the streak going through the rest of 2022. My recommendation is very specific. with the 0 point food conversation. If you're like me and you know non-fat Greek yogurt can be beneficial, but you're in the habit of like buying the big tub and then not using the big tub by the time it goes bad, then just buy a couple of the single serving. I use the Oikos non-fat plain, but they have like, single serving non-fat plain Greek yogurts. Just buy a couple to have on hand, and then you can try and experiment, and then you're not as committed to the big container until you get into a groove. So the same thing with cottage cheese. Like I've had people reach out that are like, I don't know if I like cottage cheese. I'm like, buy a small single serving, give it a go, and then you're not committed to like the big tub.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Seems specific, but makes a big difference.
I think that's a great idea. Woo! Well, that is our conversation on 0 point foods. If you guys have anything that you think we've missed, let us know, friends. Like Maggie said, Dropping Into Happiness Pod on Instagram. I promise you that we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We're on Twitter, YouTube. If you didn't realize that you could watch us in these conversations. We actually get a lot more comments, I feel like, on our YouTube channel, and I love that. I promise you guys, we respond to all of them. Like, I really do. Mm-hmm. We really like to converse with you guys. Like Maggie said, we just got an email from a new listener the other day, and I was corresponding with them, and we like to talk to you guys. So we could reach out. I think it's droppingintohappiness@gmail.com if you ever had a question, but if you ever think, oh, I don't remember what they said it was, guys, look in the show notes. I will always have all of the easy links to all of our social medias, and then Maggie and my personal Instagrams as well, if you want to follow us individually as well. So, but it is time to say it, friends. Oh, wait, there's a quote.
Yes, we have a quote. The quote is, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day.
Right? Just a few of them here and there. Success is not overnight, guys. Yep. Keep it simple. Whew. Okay. Now it's time to say it. Thanks for dropping by.
Have a magical day. Bye.
Bye.